dear friends. It's Carly, and welcome to another episode of the I Learned podcast. Today has been a really good day, and I'm feeling very content with where I am and very fulfilled in there was a reason my soul needed to manifest my lifetime, this life that I'm living right now. And today I got to live a little bit of it. Every day, really, I get to live a little bit of it. And today's piece was so delicious. Absolutely so delicious. And it has me, just like always, it has me opening more and more and more to what's there, to this magic of letting myself be led by my soul. And I'll tell you, the only reason I'm here right now is because of a tarot spread that I just pulled. Be perfectly honest. I was feeling so content that I was like totally at ease for this moment. And usually there's a desire present when I record these episodes. There's a desire to get to speak and use my voice and feel heard. And basically all of those boxes are already checked. And yet here I am making this episode because this spread, this 3-card spread, not really anything specific. If you're into tarot, it's not like a specific spread, but it is 3 tarot cards. And I realized I don't know that I've ever really gone into like what is tarot and how does that work and all of that, but suffice it to say, it's a way of receiving messages from broader perspective. Like really the only ingredient that you need to make tarot work is belief. If you believe that Source can deliver messages through tarot, then they can. And that's because you're open to it. So I'm pretty open. I've gotten a lot of good messages through tarot cards, and I draw them all the time because I'm typically not disappointed by what I find there. So the first card that I drew is one that I have a really fun relationship with. I am going to post a picture of this on my Instagram if you want to check out the actual visual of the cards. But the first card is the Five of Pentacles, and the image on this card is the main reason I like it, because basically this girl is sitting on the floor and she's got her arms wrapped around her knees and her head is down on her knees, and she looks somewhat defeated. Like she's definitely in at least a rest position, if not a defeated position. And there is a big door behind her, and you can see very clearly that there's a lock on the door, and it almost looks like she's trapped inside this room and has given up. And over in the corner of the room, there's the key. The key to the room that she's locked in is in there with her. And I drew this card so many times before I ever put this all together that the key is in there. She's not trapped anywhere. That's absolutely what the card means, is that you feel difficulties in your life, or you feel left out or ostracized. You're worrying about your security. But the best keyword, in my opinion, is it's a chance to clear energy blockages. A chance to clear energy blockages. And the affirmation on this card is doors that activate magical opportunities are always opening for me. And the gist of it is you can feel as locked in as you want, or you can recognize that the key to set you free is actually inside the room with you. It's inside of you, actually, like if you want to zoom out of this. And especially what I've realized with this podcast most of all is like my message was always there, my voice was always there, but me choosing to use my own voice was the only step in the process that was ever missing. Me feeling like I could open my mouth and speak, like that key was very much inside of me the whole entire time. And the other, this card, it has a quote that I need to share because it's repeated on the next card. Let's see. To counteract these corrosive energetic states, you are being asked to reclaim your personal power. Find your hunger for fierce positivity and seek opportunity in your current circumstance. It's hiding in the shadows. Yeah, it's like that. And that's exactly what it looks like on the card. And it's hiding in the shadows. And when I heard, or when I read that in the book, I was like, wow, okay. So I instantly associated it back to this podcast of the only thing ever stopping me from speaking is my desire, my willingness or not. Like, do I want to speak? If yes, then I can. And if I don't want to speak, then I don't have to. And that is a totally like a personal power type issue. It is all inside of me. And through this podcast, I have felt more empowered than I ever have. And when it says, like, look in the shadows, it's hiding there, it's absolutely true. Like, when you really figure out that the key is inside the room with me, and then you have to face facts like, okay, so why haven't I used this key to unlock this door yet? There must be another reason. The reason isn't that I don't have the key. The reason isn't that I don't have the skills. The reason is that I don't want to go out there. I don't want to move to the other side of the door. It's not about being ostracized or being left out or being in a difficult situation where others have put you there, because you have the key to get out of it within you. It's a willingness to use the key. And for a long time in my life, I was not willing to use the key, and now I am. And so when I read that, when I saw that card, I was just like instantly like, whoa, okay, interesting time for that to show up. And then I read the message and instantly felt pulled to get in here and talk about that card, especially because, like I said, it looks like you're trapped, but you're not. And how often do we keep ourselves trapped? I know I've stood in my own way more times than I can count, way more times than other people have stood in my way. So that feels really timely with everything that's going on. And then the second card, again, it was very clear right off the bat that I needed to come in here and talk about this because I pulled the devil card again. And to refresh you, devil card isn't about the actual devil. It's about the temptation inside of us all to stray, I think, from our soul's path. Like, we can do what our soul wants to do, or we can get distracted and caught up in short-term gratification. There's the right now moment of falling into whatever addiction is keeping you happy for this moment. But it says in the description, like I said the other day, let's see, something about leaving you empty. Might have to cut this out. Jesus, where is it? Oh, there it is. Illuminate the things that are vying for your time, your energy, and your love that leave you feeling empty. Remember that addictions don't necessarily look scary and demonic until they do. Seek liberation from the bindings that are keeping you trapped and untether yourself. In darkness, look to fragmented aspects of the self as a source of light. In the darkness, I am free to heal everything. And this one, especially something that I'm working on healing right now, is my susceptibility to external influence. And when I say that, I don't necessarily mean actual outsiders. I'm more talking about my programming, my inner voice that says things to me that I was taught. But I was taught it so long ago, it's so normal. And it's just ingrained. It's just second nature. And the thing about second nature is that it's not your first nature. And I'm realizing that I have some self-talk and I have some beliefs still where I tell myself things that I don't actually believe. I was taught those things. And I'm going to give you an example. And that is that I am currently dealing with this whole idea of liberation and untangling our programming from our personal beliefs when it comes to alcohol, when it comes to drinking. That's the subject that keeps coming up for me, uh, to continue, like I said, to bring a light to this area of external influence. And even if that external influence happened 30 years ago, or it happened by way of the media, and there was nobody ever specifically who like targeted you individually and like gave you this programming, we soak up things. We're very impressionable in those first like 10 to 20 years. So we were taught a lot of things about what's right and what's wrong. And I feel like I was taught to some extent that alcohol, drinking it regularly, drinking it frequently, is bad. And that's just a hard line in the sand that you shouldn't do that. And I have guilt around how often I drink alcohol. And I know that it's second nature because the voice in my head is telling me I shouldn't be doing it. It's not saying I don't want to do it. I can feel the difference. I mean, it's like if my soul was bubbling up from the depths of who I am saying, I don't want to do this anymore, I wouldn't do it anymore. But the fact that the voice isn't saying that, the voice is saying, you shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do this. That's me shaming myself using this external influence that I've received along my way. I can't even pinpoint it to one specific person who taught me that. All I can do is say that there's a difference between first nature and second nature. And being able to see that difference is really empowering, because when first nature feels a certain way, when first nature says it's fine, like you having a couple beers whenever you want is totally fine, and then second nature says, no, it's bad. It makes you a bad person. It makes you a deadbeat. It makes you less than. It makes you not whole. It is hurting your body on purpose. It's on and on and on. I have all kinds of self-talk that comes from society's understanding of abusing alcohol. And that has been a really interesting experience because I like alcohol. I enjoy the effect of it. And I also understand society's viewpoint. So there's this back and forth between first nature enjoying it and second nature saying, no, you shouldn't. And that back and forth has been going on for a while. And this devil card of addiction and temptation and things that can take you over and consume you and all of that, it's easy to think, and I used to think for sure, that this card was pointing to alcohol specifically, that was my addiction or my temptation that I shouldn't be indulging in, that was leading me astray. And honestly, at this point where I'm at, like the last time I pulled it, which was only a couple days ago, and now pulling it again today, the devil card, I'm pretty sure that the temptation and the thing that's overtaking me and the thing that's leading me astray is my programming, my second nature, that nature that I learned because you do what you can to survive. You know, you make the best of whatever situation you got, and you learn and you adapt and you make do and you survive. And now I'm to a point where I'm not just surviving, I'm thriving. And I get to ask those questions of like, what is my first nature? What's my second nature? And I think the addiction that I'm having here is to doubting myself, is to second guessing myself. It's worrying that I'm doing it wrong. That's really the addiction. That's really the codependent relationship of like, if I didn't if I didn't constantly worry how I could like get better and be better and all of this, like who would I be? That's such a huge part of my identity. And yet I feel like this card is inviting me to let go of a lot of that angst and lean into my first nature, lean into my soul's desires and impulses and inspired action and all of that. And that feels really, really good. That feels really, really good. And then there's the third card, which I also pulled the other day. I don't know if it was for one that I shared on here or if it was just for one that I did for myself, but I feel like I've pulled it a couple times lately. The third card is the 10 of Pentacles, and the keywords are spiritual and material abundance, generosity, wealth and prosperity, and building a legacy. And I love the description of this card, so I'm just going to read it to you guys so you can soak it up with me. Oh, baby, this is the big one. All the love, abundance, and joy that you can muster in your heart, it's coming your way, and it's coming fast. It's time to prepare for its inevitable arrival and to commit to your long-term success. This energy is so big, in fact, that you should be prepared to spread some of it around generously. Bring an abundance of positive energy into your life and watch everything shift. Let me read that sentence again because that's literally key to everything there is. Bring an abundance of positive energy into your life and watch everything shift. Expect the arrival of success, happiness, and an upbeat and loving community as avenues widen and the right connections click into place. Remember that perceptions change. You are one small move away from seeing the bigger picture and from unearthing a legacy of pentacles that is already yours. Pentacles is material abundance. Taste the pleasures of life and embody a state of consciousness that says, yes, I am worthy of all of this success. I am successful and I share my wealth with those I love. So this spread has me believing that if I will use the key that's inside of me to unlock the door that I totally have access to unlock, and if I would let go of my second nature and lean into my first nature, that on the horizon, it's already within reach, is this legacy of pentacles or material abundance, material well-being that is already mine. And that right there feels like a bubble of well-being that I plan to rest in for the rest of the day and probably tomorrow too. So that's all I have for this little baby episode by today's standards. My goodness, this is a short one. So I thank you for listening. And if this message resonates, leave me a comment, leave me a message of some sort and reach out and let's chat. Let's chat about what key is inside of you to unlock whatever door you feel like is holding you back, or what addiction are you going through? What is overcoming your first nature? And what is the legacy that you want to build? When you think about the rest of your life or the next 40 or 50 years, what's worth spending that time on? Time is the greatest asset we ever have. It's the only thing we can't ever get more of. And it's the only thing that is like totally equal between us all, because we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And how do you want to spend yours? What's important enough to spend it on? And for me, I've found this podcast. I've found this outlet that feels so rich and so abundant to get to use my voice on this platform. And I thank you for listening yet again. Dear friends, until next time, you take good care of yourselves, and so will I.